Imagine, if you will, a world where defeat is but a figment of imagination, where the very concept of failure dissolves into the ether of unreality. This world, my dear friends, is not a far-off fantasy, but the very reality that awaits you should you choose to embrace the principles I am about to share. For in this grand theater of life, you are both the playwright and the lead actor, crafting your destiny with every thought, every belief, and every action. Let us begin by understanding the fundamental truth that underpins our existence. Consciousness is the only reality. Everything you perceive, everything you experience, every triumph and every setback originates within the realm of your consciousness. The world you see before you is but a reflection of your inner state, a mirror that faithfully reproduces the images you hold within your mind. Now consider for a moment the implications of this truth. If consciousness is the only reality and your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, then it follows that to act as though no one can defeat you is to make that very state a living, breathing reality. The key, my friends, lies not in changing the external circumstances, but in revolutionizing your inner world. To act as though no one can defeat you is not an exercise in blind optimism or unfounded bravado. It is instead a profound understanding and application of the law that governs all creation. This law, which I have often referred to as the law of assumption, states that by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you bring about its manifestation in your physical reality. Consider, if you will, a great oak tree. Before it towers majestically above the forest floor, it exists as a tiny acorn, containing within it the blueprint of its future grandeur. In much the same way, the state of being undefeatable exists within you now, waiting to be awakened and expressed. Your task is not to create this state, for it already exists, but to assume it, to wear it as naturally as you wear your own skin. But how, you may ask, does one begin to assume such a state? The answer, my dear friends, lies in the power of imagination. Your imagination is the workshop wherein you forge the template of your future experiences. It is the bridge between the world of concepts and the world of tangible reality. To act as though no one can defeat you, you must first see it, feel it, and experience it within the theater of your mind. Close your eyes for a moment, if you will, and imagine yourself standing tall, unshakable in the face of any challenge. Feel the quiet confidence that permeates your being, the unwavering certainty that no obstacle is insurmountable. See yourself moving through life with grace and ease, undeterred by the doubts and fears that once held you back. This, my friends, is not mere fantasy. It is the first step in making the undefeatable state your own. As you engage in this exercise, you may notice resistance arising within you. Old beliefs, ingrained patterns of thought that whisper of limitation and defeat may attempt to assert themselves. Do not fight these thoughts, for what you resist persists. Instead, observe them with detachment, understanding that they are but shadows of a former self, remnants of a consciousness you are now transcending. Remember, the state of being undefeatable is your natural birthright. It is not something you need to earn or prove, but something you need only to remember and reclaim. In the infinite sea of consciousness, you are a wave that has forgotten. It is the ocean. Your journey is one of remembrance, of awakening to the truth of your divine nature. Now let us delve deeper into the practical application of this principle. To act as though no one can defeat you requires a fundamental shift in your self-concept. You must begin to see yourself not as a limited, vulnerable being subject to the whims of external forces, but as the very source and substance of all that you experience. This shift in self-concept is not achieved through mere intellectual understanding, though that is certainly a starting point. It is achieved through consistent, deliberate imagination and feeling. You must make a habit of dwelling in the state of the wish fulfilled, of living from the end. This means that in your imagination you live and move, and have your being as one who cannot be defeated. Consider the great figures of history who have embodied this principle. Think of Nelson Mandela, who maintained his dignity and resolve through decades of imprisonment, emerging not as a broken man, but as a leader who would transform a nation. Or consider Helen Keller, who refused to be defined by her physical limitations, instead becoming a beacon of inspiration for millions. These individuals did not become undefeatable through external circumstances, but through an unshakable inner conviction. You, my dear friends, possess the same power, the same infinite potential. The only difference lies in your awareness and application of this power. As you begin to act as though no one can defeat you, you will find that life itself begins to conform to this new self-concept. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will become opportunities for growth and triumph. Obstacles will dissolve before your unwavering belief in your own invincibility. But let me be clear, acting as though no one can defeat you does not mean that you will never face difficulties or setbacks. The storms of life will still come. The winds of adversity will still blow. The difference lies in how you perceive and respond to these challenges. When you know deep in the core of your being that you cannot be defeated, you approach every situation with a calm assurance, a quiet confidence that transcends circumstance. Imagine, if you will, a mighty mountain. The winds may howl, the rains may lash against its slopes, but the mountain remains unmoved, unshaken. It does not resist the storm, nor does it fear it. It simply is in all its majesty and strength. This, my friends, is how you must learn to be. Rooted in the unshakable knowledge of your own invincibility, you become like that mountain, steady, strong, and ultimately undefeatable. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I have experienced defeat in the past. How can I possibly act as though no one can defeat me when my own experiences seem to contradict this? To you, I say this: your past does not define your future unless you allow it to do so. Your previous experiences of defeat were simply outpicturing of your consciousness at that time. As you shift your consciousness, as you begin to embody the state of being undefeated, you will find that your experiences naturally align with this new state. Remember, time is a construct of consciousness. The past, present, and future exist simultaneously in the eternal now. By choosing to act as though no one can defeat you in this moment, you are not denying your past experiences, but transcending them. You are choosing to align yourself with a higher truth, a greater reality that has always existed within you. Let us now explore the practical steps you can take to embody this state of invincibility. The first and most crucial step is to watch your mental diet. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, you must be vigilant about what you allow into your mind. The thoughts you entertain, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, all of these contribute to your mental state and, by extension, to your experience of reality. Begin by consciously eliminating any thoughts or beliefs that contradict the state of being undefeatable. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, or this is too difficult for me, gently, but firmly replace these thoughts with affirmations of your invincibility. Say to yourself, I am more than equal to this challenge, or there is no obstacle I cannot overcome. Next, immerse yourself in the feeling of being undefeatable. This is not about puffing yourself up with false bravado, but about tapping into the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your true nature. Feel the strength that courses through you, the unwavering certainty that you are the master of your fate. Let this feeling permeate every cell of your being until it becomes your natural state. As you go about your daily life, begin to act from this state of invincibility. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how would I approach this if I knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that I could not be defeated? Then act accordingly. You will be amazed at how this simple shift in perspective can transform your experiences. Remember, my dear friends, that your outer world will always conform to your inner assumptions. As you consistently act as though no one can defeat you, you will find that your experiences begin to reflect this belief. Opportunities will arise where once there seemed to be only obstacles. People will respond to you differently, sensing the quiet power that emanates from you. But let me caution you, this is not about dominating others or proving your superiority. True invincibility comes from a place of inner peace and self-assurance, not from the need to prove yourself to others. When you truly embody the state of being undefeatable, you will find that you have no need to compete or compare yourself to others. You are simply secure in your own power, focused on your own journey. Now, let us address a question that may be arising in your minds. Does acting as though no one can defeat me mean that I will never experience failure or setbacks? The answer, my friends, is both yes and no. Yes, in the sense that when you truly embody this state, what others might perceive as failures or setbacks become, for you, merely stepping stones on the path to your ultimate triumph. And no, in the sense that you may still face challenges and temporary setbacks, but your response to these experiences will be fundamentally different. You see, when you act as though no one can defeat you, you develop a resilience that is unshakable. Setbacks become opportunities for growth. Failures become lessons that propel you forward. You understand at the deepest level that true defeat only occurs when you accept it as your reality. As long as you maintain your inner conviction, as long as you continue to act from the state of being undefeatable, no external circumstance can truly defeat you. Consider, if you will, the life of Thomas Edison. In his quest to invent the light bulb, he experienced what many would consider failures, thousands of attempts that did not produce the desired result. But Edison famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. This, my friends, is a mindset of one who acts as though they cannot be defeated. Each apparent setback is simply another step on the path to ultimate success. As you embark on this journey of acting as though no one can defeat you, you may find that your relationships with others begin to change. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and self-assurance. You may find that others begin to look to you for leadership, inspired by your unwavering belief in yourself and your abilities. But remember, true invincibility is not about becoming untouchable or disconnected from others. On the contrary, as you become more secure in your own power, you will likely find that you become more compassionate, more understanding of others. You will have no need to prove yourself or to put others down to feel strong. Your strength will come from within, allowing you to lift others up without fear of diminishing yourself. Now let us delve deeper into the spiritual implications of acting as though no one can defeat you. At its core, this state of being is a recognition of your true nature as a divine, infinite being. When you act from this place of invincibility, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe itself. In the scriptures, we find the profound statement, "I and my Father are one." This, my dear friends, is the ultimate truth behind the state of being undefeatable. When you recognize your oneness with the divine, with the creative power that sustains all of existence, how can you be defeated? It is impossible, for you are one with the very source of all power, all wisdom, all possibility. As you cultivate this awareness, as you live from this truth, you will find that your entire perception of life begins to shift. Challenges that once seemed daunting will become opportunities for you to express your divine nature. You will move through life with the grace and ease that comes from knowing that you are supported by the infinite power of the universe itself. But let me be clear, this state of invincibility is not about becoming passive or detached from the world around you. On the contrary, it is about engaging with life more fully, more authentically than ever before. When you know that you cannot be defeated, you are free to take risks, to pursue your dreams with passion and determination. You are free to love more deeply, to give more generously, to live more fully. Imagine, if you will, living each day from this place of absolute certainty in your own invincibility. How would you approach your work? How would you interact with your loved ones? How would you pursue your dreams and aspirations? The possibilities are limitless when you remove the constraints of fear and self-doubt. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how do I maintain this state of invincibility in the face of apparent failures or setbacks? This, my friends, is where the true test of your understanding and application of this principle comes into play. It is easy to feel invincible when everything is going your way. The real challenge and the real opportunity for growth comes when you face adversity. In these moments, you must double down on your commitment to acting as though no one can defeat you. Remember, your outer circumstances are simply a reflection of your inner state. If you allow external events to shake your conviction, you are giving your power away to the very things you seek to overcome. Instead, when faced with challenges, reaffirm your invincibility. Say to yourself, this situation has no power to defeat me. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Then, from this place of inner strength, look for the opportunity within the challenge. Ask yourself, how can I use this situation to demonstrate my invincibility? What lesson is here for me to learn? As you consistently apply this principle, you will find that your resilience grows stronger with each challenge you face. You will develop an unshakable faith in your ability to overcome any obstacle, to triumph in any situation. This faith, my dear friends, is the key to living a truly invincible life. But let us not forget that acting as though no one can defeat you is not just about personal triumph. It is about becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. As you embody this state of invincibility, you demonstrate to the world what is possible when one aligns themselves with the truth of their divine nature. Think of the great leaders and visionaries throughout history who have changed the world through their unwavering belief in their mission. Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, Marie Curie. These individuals faced enormous obstacles and opposition, yet they persevered, acting as though defeat was not an option. In doing so, they not only achieved their own goals, but inspired millions to reach for greatness. You, my dear friends, have the same potential within you. As you learn to act as though no one can defeat you, you become a living example of what is possible. Your life becomes a testament to the power of belief, the power of aligning oneself with the creative force of the universe. Now let us address a common misconception about invincibility. Some may think that to be invincible means to never experience doubt, fear, or uncertainty. This is not the case. Even the most enlightened beings experience moments of human vulnerability. The difference lies in how you respond to these feelings. When doubt or fear arise, and they will, for they are part of the human experience, do not fight against them or berate yourself for experiencing them. Instead, observe these feelings with compassion and understanding. Say to yourself, I acknowledge these feelings, but I choose not to be defined by them. I am greater than my fears, more powerful than my doubts. In this way, you transform even your moments of vulnerability into opportunities to reaffirm your invincibility. You demonstrate to yourself, again and again, that no internal or external force has the power to defeat you unless you grant it that power. As we near the conclusion of our discourse, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Acting as though no one can defeat you is not a one-time decision, but a moment-by-moment choice. It is a way of life, a constant affirmation of your true nature as a divine, infinite being. Each day you will be presented with opportunities to choose invincibility. In your interactions with others, in your approach to your work, in your response to life's challenges, in each of these moments, you have the power to act from a place of unshakable strength and confidence. Make it a practice to start each day by affirming your invincibility. Before you rise from your bed, take a few moments to feel the truth of your undefeatable nature. See yourself moving through your day with grace and ease, triumphant in the face of any challenge. Then carry this feeling with you as you go about your day, letting it inform every action, every decision. As you consistently choose to act as though no one can defeat you, you will find that this state becomes more and more natural to you. What once required conscious effort will become your default way of being. You will find yourself naturally approaching life from a place of quiet confidence and inner strength. But remember, my dear friends, that true invincibility is not about becoming hard or impenetrable. It is about becoming so secure in your own power that you can remain open, vulnerable, and compassionate. It is about having the strength to be gentle, the courage to be kind, the confidence to be humble. As you embody this state of invincibility, you will find that your entire life transforms. Relationships become more fulfilling as you interact with others from a place of inner security rather than need or fear. Your work becomes more satisfying as you approach each task with confidence and creativity. Your personal growth accelerates as you fearlessly embrace new challenges and opportunities. Moreover, you will find that your invincibility becomes a blessing not just for you, but for all those whose lives you touch. Your unwavering belief in yourself will inspire others to recognize their own innate power. Your ability to triumph over challenges will give hope to those who are struggling. Your life will become a living testament to the limitless potential that resides within each human being. In closing, I urge you, my dear friends, to embrace this truth with all your heart and soul. Learn to act as though no one can defeat you, not as a mere motivational technique, but as a recognition of your true nature. Let every thought, every word, every action spring from this place of invincibility. Remember, you are not a limited, vulnerable being subject to the whims of fate. You are a divine, infinite being, one with the creative power of the universe itself. As you align yourself with this truth, as you learn to live from this state of invincibility, you will find that life itself bends to your will, that the entire universe conspires to support your dreams and aspirations. Go forth then, and live as the invincible being you truly are. Face each day with courage and confidence, knowing that within you lies the power to overcome any obstacle, to achieve any goal, to realize any dream. Act as though no one can defeat you, and you will find that, indeed, no one can. Thank you, my dear friends, for your attention and your willingness to embrace this transformative truth. May you go forth from this place forever changed, forever empowered, forever invincible. The power is within you. The choice is yours. Act now and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of imagination and seekers of truth, I stand before you today to unveil a profound mystery, a secret so magnificent that it has the power to transform your entire existence. This secret is none other than the discovery of the real you. Now you may wonder, Neville, what do you mean by the real you? Am I not already myself? And to that, I say, my dear, you are both right and profoundly mistaken. For the you that you believe yourself to be, the person you see in the mirror each morning, is but a shadow, a fleeting reflection of your true nature. The real you, the you I speak of tonight, is far grander, far more powerful than you have ever dared to imagine. This you is not bound by the limitations of your physical body or the circumstances of your birth. No, the real you is nothing less than God Himself, expressing itself through the unique facet of creation that you call your life. You see, my dear friends, we have been taught from childhood to believe in a world outside of ourselves. a world that dictates our fate and controls our destiny. We have been conditioned to accept limitations, to bow down to circumstances, and to view ourselves as helpless victims of a capricious universe. But I tell you now with absolute certainty that this is the grandest illusion, the most pervasive lie ever perpetrated upon humanity. For the truth, the glorious truth that I share with you tonight, is that you are the operant power in your world. You are the one who shapes your reality, who molds the circumstances of your life, who determines your fate. And you do this not through any external action, not through struggle or strife, but through the power of your imagination. Imagination, my dear friends, is the God power within you. It is the creative force of the universe, expressing itself through your consciousness. When you imagine, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfills, you are literally shaping the very fabric of reality. You are commanding the universe itself to bend to your will. But to harness this power, to truly become the real you, you must first understand the nature of your being. You are not a mere mortal, trapped in a physical body, subject to the whims of fate. No, you are consciousness itself, pure awareness, experiencing itself through the medium of your human form. This consciousness, this awareness, is the I am that Moses spoke of when he encountered the burning bush. When God declared, I am that I am, he was not speaking of some distant deity, some separate being existing apart from creation. No, he was speaking of the very essence of existence itself, the pure consciousness that is the foundation of all reality. And this I am, this pure consciousness, is who you truly are. It is the real you that I speak of tonight. When you declare I am, you are invoking the very power of creation itself. You are stepping into your divine nature, assuming your rightful place as the creator of your world. Now, I can see some of you shifting uncomfortably in your seats. Perhaps you're thinking, but Neville, how can this be? How can I, a mere mortal, be God? And to that, I say, my dear, you have been God all along. You have simply forgotten your true nature, lost in the dream of human existence. But tonight, right here, right now, I invite you to awaken from that dream. I invite you to reclaim your divine heritage, to step into the fullness of your being. For when you do, when you truly understand and embody the real you, there is nothing in this world or any other that is beyond your reach. Imagine, if you will, a world where you are no longer bound by the limitations of your past, where the circumstances of your birth and the opinions of others hold no sway over your destiny. Imagine a life where your every desire, your every wish manifests with the ease of thought itself. This, my dear friends, is the reality that awaits you when you embrace the real you. But how, you may ask, does one go about discovering this real self? How does one tap into this limitless power? The answer, as with all profound truths, is deceptively simple. You must learn to use your imagination not as a means of escaping reality, but as the very tool for creating it. Every night, as you lay your head upon your pillow, I want you to enter into a state akin to sleep, but a sleep in which you are still conscious, still aware. In this state, which some call the hypnagogic state, you will find that your imagination becomes more vivid, more real than ever before. In this state, I want you to imagine a scene that implies the fulfillment of your deepest desire. If you wish for wealth, see yourself counting large sums of money. If you desire love, feel the embrace of your perfect partner. If you seek health, experience the vitality and energy of a perfectly functioning body. But here's the crucial point, my dear friends. You must not merely visualize these scenes as distant future events. No, you must enter into them fully, experiencing them with all the vividness and intensity of actual events. You must feel the crisp texture of the banknotes in your hands, smell the sweet perfume of your lover, feel the strength and vitality coursing through your veins. For you see, your subconscious mind, which is none other than God himself, does not distinguish between what you vividly and what you experience in the outer world. To your subconscious, all experience is equal. And it is this subconscious mind, this God within you, that shapes the events and circumstances of your life. When you imagine with such vivid intensity, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, You are literally impregnating your subconscious with the seed of your desire. And just as a seed planted in fertile soil must inevitably grow into a plant, so too must your imagined reality blossom into physical existence. This, my dear friends, is the law of assumption, the fundamental principle upon which all creation rests. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, as I often say, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are becoming in that moment the real you, the God self that is your true nature. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, I've tried visualization before. I've tried positive thinking, and yet my life remains unchanged. And to that I say, my dear, you have not truly understood the principle I am sharing with you tonight. For you see, it is not enough to merely visualize or think positively. These are but pale imitations of the truly creative act. No, to harness the power of the real you must feel it. You must experience your imagined reality with all the intensity of your being. You must live from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, already affecting your world. This requires a fundamental shift in your consciousness, a letting go of the old man, as the Bible puts it, and putting on the new. You must die to your old concept of self, to the limited mortal being you have believed yourself to be, and be reborn as the divine, limitless being that is your true nature. This death and rebirth is not a physical process, but a psychological one. It is a shift in your self-concept, a radical transformation of your beliefs about yourself and the world. And it is this transformation, this assumption of your divine nature, that unleashes the creative power within you. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Imagine a man who has struggled with poverty all his life. He has tried everything the world recommends: hard work, education, networking, and yet he remains trapped in lack. This man comes to one of my lectures and hears me speak of the power of imagination. Inspired, he goes home that night, and as he drifts off to sleep, he imagines himself as a wealthy man. He feels the satisfaction of looking at his bank statement and seeing a large balance. He experiences the joy of being able to buy whatever he desires without concern for the cost. He savors the feeling of financial security, of being free from worry about money. Now, here's the crucial point. This man doesn't just do this once and then go back to his old way of thinking. No, he persists in this new assumption. Even when he wakes up the next morning to the same old surroundings, even when his physical reality shows no immediate change, he continues to live from the assumption of wealth. He walks differently, talks differently, makes decisions differently, not because his outer world has changed, but because he has changed on the inside. He has assumed a new self-concept, a new identity. He has become, in his own mind, a wealthy man. And lo and behold, within a short span of time, this man's outer world begins to reshape itself to match his inner assumption. Opportunities for wealth come his way. His business thrives. Investments pay off. And before long, the wealth he imagined becomes a tangible reality in his world. This, my dear friends, is the power of the real you in action. This is the creative principle that underlies all existence, and it is available to each and every one of you here and now. But I must warn you, this power comes with a great responsibility. For you see, every thought you think, every assumption you hold is a creative act. You are constantly shaping your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. Your habitual thoughts, your deeply held beliefs about yourself and the world are continuously being made manifest in your experience. This is why it is so crucial to guard the door of your mind, to be vigilant about the thoughts you entertain and the assumptions you hold. For every negative thought, every limiting belief is as creative as the positive ones. You are as capable of creating failure and lack as you are creating success and abundance. But fear not, my dear friends, for you have within you the power to choose your thoughts, to select the assumptions you will live by. This is the true meaning of free will. It is not the power to control external events, but the power to control your inner world, your consciousness, which in turn shapes your outer reality. So I say to you tonight, choose wisely. Choose to assume the best about yourself and your world. Choose to live from the assumption of your wishes fulfilled. Choose to embody the real you, the divine, limitless being that you truly are. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about the suffering in the world? What about the injustice and the pain? And to that I say, my dear, even these are but outpictured assumptions, collective beliefs made manifest. For you see, the world is yourself pushed out. Everything you perceive, every person you encounter, every event you experience is but a reflection of your own consciousness. When you change yourself, when you assume a new concept of self, the world must change to reflect this new assumption. This is why I tell you that to change the world, you must first change yourself. To end suffering, you must first end it within your own consciousness. To create a world of justice and peace, you must first create it in your imagination. But here's the beautiful truth when you do this. When you assume the best about yourself and your world, you are not just changing your own experience. You are literally uplifting the entire world. For we are all one consciousness, experiencing itself subjectively. When you elevate your consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of all humanity. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of being your brother's keeper. It is not about trying to change others or fix the world through external action. It is about assuming the best for all, imagining lovingly for others, and thereby lifting the entire world to a higher level of consciousness. Imagine, if you will, a world where everyone understood this principle. Imagine a humanity that recognized its divine nature, that understood the creative power of imagination. What wonders could we create? What marvels could we manifest? This is the world that awaits us when we all awaken to the real you. This is the promise of the kingdom of heaven that Jesus spoke of, not as a distant realm to be reached after death, but as a state of consciousness available here and now. For when Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you," he was not speaking metaphorically. He was stating a literal truth about the nature of reality. The kingdom of heaven, the state of perfect fulfillment and bliss, is not a place but a state of consciousness. It is the state of being fully aligned with your true self, fully embodying the real you. And how does one enter this kingdom? Not through arduous spiritual practices or complex rituals, but through the simple act of assumption. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, as Paul put it. Assume the mind of God, assume your divine nature, and you enter the kingdom. This, my dear friends, is the great secret that has been hidden in plain sight throughout the ages. It is the pearl of great price, the treasure hidden in a field. It is the truth that can set you free from all limitations, all bondage, all suffering. But I must warn you, this truth comes with a price. The price is the letting go of your old self-concept, the abandonment of all your old limiting beliefs. It requires a willingness to stand against the evidence of your senses, to persist in your assumption, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. It is not blind belief in some external deity or doctrine. It is the unwavering conviction in the reality of your imagined state, the absolute faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. And make no mistake, my dear friends, this faith will be tested. The world will conspire to draw you back into your old patterns of thinking, your old limited self-concept. Your senses will present you with evidence that seems to contradict your new assumption. Doubts will arise, fear will whisper in your ear. But I say to you tonight, persist. Hold fast to your assumption. Live from the end, dwelling in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, no matter what the outer world may show you. For it is your persistence, your faithfulness to your assumption, that will ultimately reshape your reality. Remember, the time it takes for your assumption to become your outer reality is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling. The more natural, the more effortless your assumption feels, the quicker it will manifest. This is why I always emphasize the importance of feeling, of experiencing your imagined reality as vividly and intensely. For you see, the subconscious mind, which is the creative power within you, does not respond to words or visualizations alone. It responds to feeling, to the emotion that accompanies your thoughts. When you can feel the reality of your imagined state, when you can experience the joy, the satisfaction, The fulfillment of your desire as if it were already accomplished. That is, when the seed of your desire takes root in the fertile soil of your subconscious. And once that seed is planted, once your subconscious accepts your new assumption as reality, nothing in this world can prevent its manifestation. For the power that creates worlds, that brings forth life from the void, is now working on your behalf, shaping the circumstances and events of your life to match your inner conviction. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of prayer. It is not beseeching an external deity for favors. It is not repeating affirmations or visualizations. True prayer is feeling yourself into the state of your wish fulfilled. It is assuming the consciousness of already being what you desire to be, of already having what you desire to have. When you pray in this manner, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are becoming one with God, for God and your imagination are one. And in this state of oneness, all things are possible. Now I can see some of you looking skeptical. Perhaps you're thinking, but Neville, this all sounds too good to be true. Surely it can't be this simple. And to that, I say, my dear, it is both simpler than you can imagine and more challenging than you might think. It is simple in its principle. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and it must become your reality. But it is challenging in its application, for it requires a complete revolution in your thinking, a total transformation of your consciousness. You see, we have been conditioned from birth to believe in limitation, to accept the evidence of our senses as the ultimate reality. We have been taught to look to the outer world for causes, to believe that our lives are shaped by forces beyond our control. Breaking free from this conditioning, stepping into the truth of your divine nature, requires courage and persistence. But I tell you tonight, the reward for this courage, the fruit of this persistence, is nothing less than the kingdom of heaven itself. It is the realization of your every desire, the fulfillment of your every wish. It is the discovery of the real you, the God self that has been within you all along. So I challenge you tonight, my dear friends, to embark on this grand adventure. I invite you to explore the limitless realms of your own consciousness, to test the power of your imagination. For in doing so, you will discover the truth of who you really are. Start with something small if you must. Imagine a specific event, a particular circumstance that would give you joy. Feel yourself into that state. Experience it as vividly as you can. Then watch in wonder as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner conviction. As you gain confidence in this principle, as you begin to trust in the creative power of your own consciousness, you can apply it to ever greater things. There is no limit to what you can be, do, or have when you align yourself with the real you, with the God power within you. Remember, my dear friends, the Bible is not a historical document about events that happened thousands of years ago. It is a psychological drama taking place in the consciousness of every individual. You are Mary, conceiving the Christ child, your desired state, through immaculate conception, through the power of your imagination. You are Joseph, nurturing and protecting that seed until it comes to fruition. You are Moses, leading your thoughts, the children of Israel, out of the bondage of limitation, Egypt, into the promised land of fulfillment. You are Jesus, crucifying your old self-concept, dying to your former limitations and resurrecting as a new man, the awakened God self. Every character, every story in Scripture is a facet of your own consciousness, a blueprint for the psychological transformation that leads to the realization of your divine nature. When you understand this, when you begin to apply these truths in your own life, you will experience a freedom and a power beyond anything you have ever known. For you will know with unshakable certainty that you are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but the very creator of your reality. You will understand that the entire universe is within you, that all power, all possibility, all potential exists in the realm of your consciousness. This, my dear friends, is the real you that I speak of tonight. This is the truth that can set you free, the knowledge that can transform your life. It is the realization that you are not separate from God, not a creature begging for scraps from the divine table, but God himself, experiencing life through the unique perspective that you call yourself. When you truly grasp this, When you fully embody this truth, there is nothing in this world or any other that is beyond your reach. For you are the operant power, the creative principle, the I am that I am. You are the real you, the God self-awakening to its true nature. So I say to you tonight, awaken. Arise from the slumber of limitation. Cast off the shackles of your old beliefs. Step into the glorious light of your true nature. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you uplift the entire world. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. As you assume a higher state of consciousness, as you embody more and more of your divine nature, you automatically elevate the consciousness of all humanity. You become a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope and possibility for all who come into contact with you. This is the true meaning of being the light of the world that Jesus spoke of. It is not about proselytizing or trying to change others. It is about changing yourself, about embodying the highest truth you know, and allowing that truth to radiate out into the world. As you do this, as you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, as you assume the feeling of your desires realized, you will find that your life becomes a living testament to the power of imagination. You will become a walking, breathing example of the principle I share with you tonight. People will be drawn to you, fascinated by the aura of success and fulfillment that surrounds you. They will ask you the secret of your success, the source of your joy. And you will be able to share with them this profound truth, to guide them towards the discovery of their own divine nature. But remember, my dear friends, you cannot fail in this endeavor. For even what appears as failure is but a stepping stone to greater realization. Every experience, every circumstance is an opportunity to practice this principle, to deepen your understanding of your true nature. If you find yourself facing challenges or setbacks, do not despair. Instead, see them as opportunities to exercise your God-given power of assumption. Use these moments to strengthen your faith in the reality of your imagined state. For it is often in our darkest moments that our greatest light shines forth. I want you to know with every fiber of your being that you are never alone in this journey. The power that created the universe, that brings forth worlds from the void, is within you. It is your very essence, your true nature, and it is always available to you, always ready to express itself through you as you. So go forth from this place tonight with a new understanding of who you really are. Go forth with the knowledge that you are the operant power in your world, the creator of your reality. Go forth and live from the state of your wishes fulfilled, assuming the feeling of your desires realized. For in doing so, you are not merely changing your own life. You are participating in the grand drama of creation itself. You are fulfilling the purpose for which you came into being, to express the infinite potential of God through the unique facet of creation that you call your life. This, my dear friends, is the real you. This is your true identity, your divine heritage. Claim it now. Embody it fully. Live from it consistently. And watch in awe as your world transforms before your very eyes. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is not a distant realm to be reached after death, but a state of consciousness that's available to you here and now. Enter into that kingdom. Assume your rightful place as the heir to all that is. For you are the real you, the God self-awakening to its true nature. And in this awakening, in this realization of your true identity, you will find a peace that passes all understanding, a joy that knows no bounds, a love that encompasses all of creation. For you will know with unshakable certainty that you are one with the source of all life, one with the creative power of the universe. This, my dear friends, is the promise of the real you. This is the truth that can set you free, the knowledge that can transform your life and the world around you. Embrace it fully. Live it consistently. And watch in wonder as miracles unfold in your life. For you are the miracle. You are the wonder. You are the real you. The God self-expressing itself through the unique and beautiful form that you call your life. Recognize this truth. Embody this reality and step into the fullness of your divine nature. The world awaits your awakening. The universe stands ready to support your every desire. All of creation longs for you to claim your divine heritage, to step into the truth of who you really are. So I say to you one final time, awaken to the real you. Embrace your divine nature. Assume the feeling of your wishes fulfilled and watch as your world transforms in miraculous ways. For you are the real you, the God self-awakening to its true nature. And in this awakening lies the fulfillment of all your desires, the realization of all your dreams, and the transformation of your entire world. Go forth and be the real you. The world is waiting for your light to shine. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness. Feel their truth resonating within the very core of your being. For in these simple words lies the key to unlocking a life of unimaginable wonder, joy, and fulfillment. You see, my beloved audience, the greatest delusion that plagues humanity is the belief in limitation. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that we are separate from the world around us, that we are small, insignificant beings at the mercy of external forces. We are taught to believe in lack, in scarcity, in the impossibility of our deepest desires. But I stand here tonight to tell you with absolute certainty that this is a lie. It is the grandest deception ever perpetrated upon the human race. For you, my dear friends, are not limited beings. You are not mere mortals struggling against an indifferent universe. No, you are divine beings temporarily clothed in human form, possessing within you the very power that creates worlds. The only limit that exists is the one you have accepted in your own mind. The only barriers to your dreams are the ones you have erected in your own imagination. For you see, your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop of creation, the place where all things come into being. Everything you see around you, every invention, every work of art, every human achievement, began as a mere thought in someone's mind. The clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, the building that houses us, all of these were once nothing more than ideas. Imagine possibilities that someone dared to believe in and bring into manifestation. So why, my dear listeners, do you persist in believing that your dreams are somehow different? Why do you cling to the notion that your desires are too grand, too impossible to achieve? I tell you now with all the conviction of my being that the only thing standing between you and the life of your dreams is your own limiting beliefs. Learn to act as if your only limit is you, because that is the absolute truth of your existence. You are pure, unbounded consciousness, temporarily focused into individual expression. You are the operant power in your world, the one who shapes reality through the power of your imagination and belief. But you may ask, if this is true, why have I not experienced the life of my dreams? Why do I still face challenges and setbacks? Why does the world seem to resist my desires? The answer, my friends, lies in your own consciousness. You have been acting unknowingly from a place of limitation. You have been accepting as truth the appearances of the external world rather than the reality of your inner being. You have been allowing your past experiences, your fears, and the opinions of others to dictate what is possible for you. But tonight, I invite you to make a radical shift in your consciousness. I invite you to embrace the truth of your being and to begin acting from that truth in every moment of your life. Imagine, if you will, that you desire great wealth. Perhaps you've spent years struggling financially, working hard but never seeming to get ahead. You've accepted the belief that money is scarce, that it's difficult to acquire, that you must sacrifice and struggle to attain it. But what if, from this moment forward, you began to act as if abundance was your natural state? What if you started to move through the world as if you were already wealthy beyond measure? How would that change the way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, the opportunities you notice and seize? You see, when you act from the consciousness of wealth, you align yourself with the very essence of abundance. You open yourself to receive the infinite riches of the universe. You become a magnet for prosperity, drawing to yourself people, circumstances, and opportunities that match your new state of being. This, my dear friends, is not positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the operation of cosmic law. For the universe responds not to your words or your wishful thinking, but to the state of consciousness from which you operate. When you truly embody the state of your desire fulfilled, when you live and move and have your being in that state, the outer world has no choice but to conform to your inner reality. But remember, this principle applies not just to material wealth, but to every aspect of your life. Perhaps you long for perfect health, for a body that radiates vitality and strength. Yet you've been acting from a place of limitation, accepting illness or weakness as your lot in life. I challenge you now to make a radical shift. Begin to act as if perfect health is your natural state. Move through your day with the energy and vitality of a perfectly healthy being. Feel the strength coursing through your veins, the clarity in your mind, the ease in your breath. Live from that state of perfection, and watch as your body begins to align with your new consciousness. Or perhaps your heart yearns for a deep, fulfilling love. You've spent years feeling lonely, convinced that true love is elusive, or that you're somehow unworthy of it. But what if from this moment forward you began to act as if you were deeply, unconditionally loved? How would that change the way you interact with others, the way you carry yourself, the choices you make in your relationships? When you embody the state of being loved, you become a magnet for love. You radiate a warmth and openness that draws others to you. You make choices from a place of self-respect and worthiness, naturally attracting those who will cherish and will care. You see, my dear friends, the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. It is a mirror showing you the contents of your own consciousness. When you understand this profound truth, you realize that to change your world, you need only change yourself. But here is where many stumble. They hear these words and understand them intellectually, but they fail to put them into practice. They continue to react to the external world, allowing circumstances to dictate their state of being, rather than choosing their state regardless of circumstances. This is why I emphasize the importance of learning to act. It is not enough to simply understand these principles intellectually. You must embody them, live them, breathe them in every moment of your existence. When you face a challenge, do not cower in fear or doubt. Instead, ask yourself, how would I act if I truly believe that I am limitless? How would I move through this situation if I knew with absolute certainty that I have the power to overcome any obstacle? When an opportunity presents itself, do not hesitate or second-guess yourself. Act as if success is inevitable. Move forward with the confidence of one who knows their own divine nature, who understands that they are one with the creative power of the universe. In your relationships, do not settle for less than you desire. Act as if you are worthy of the deepest, most fulfilling love. Treat yourself with the respect and care that you would offer to your most beloved friend. For in doing so, you teach others how to treat you, and you attract those who will honor your true worth. In your career or business, do not limit yourself based on past experiences or current circumstances. Act as if your success is assured. Make decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Take bold actions knowing that you have within you the power to achieve anything you can imagine. But remember, my dear listeners, that this way of being requires practice and persistence. You have spent years, perhaps decades, operating from a place of limitation. You have ingrained habits of thought and behavior that may initially resist this new way of being. Do not be discouraged by this. Instead, view it as an opportunity to exercise your newfound understanding. When you catch yourself slipping into old patterns of limitation, gently but firmly redirect your thoughts and actions. Remind yourself of your true nature. Ask yourself, how would I act right now if I truly believed in my own limitlessness? This practice of constant self-awareness and redirection is the key to transforming your life. For you see, your subconscious mind, which is the true operant power in your world, does not distinguish between what you imagine vividly and what you experience in the physical world. By consistently acting as if your desires are already fulfilled, you impress upon your subconscious mind the reality of your wish fulfilled. And your subconscious mind, being one with the infinite creative power of the universe, begins to reshape your outer world to match your inner state. Now, I want to address a concern that may have arisen in some of your minds. You may be thinking, but Neville, isn't this selfish? Shouldn't we accept our lot in life and be content with what we have? My dear friends, let me assure you that there is nothing selfish about claiming your divine birthright. You were not put on this earth to suffer, to struggle, to live a life of limitation. You were created to express the fullness of your divine nature, to experience joy, abundance, and fulfillment in every area of your life. Moreover, when you lift yourself up, when you expand into the fullness of your being, you lift up all of humanity. For we are all one, all interconnected in the grand tapestry of existence. As you break free from your self-imposed limitations, you inspire others to do the same. As you achieve your dreams, you show others what is possible for them. Think of the great innovators, artists, and visionaries throughout history. Did they accept the limitations of their time? Did they bow to the constraints that society placed upon them? No, they dared to imagine something greater. They acted as if the impossible was possible, and in doing so, they expanded the boundaries of what humanity thought achievable. You, my dear listeners, have that same power within you. You have the ability to reshape not just your own life, but the very world around you. By learning to act as if your only limit is you, you become a beacon of light in a world that desperately needs illumination. But I must caution you, this way of being requires courage. It requires a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone, to challenge the status quo, to stand firm in your truth even when the world seems to contradict it. There will be times when your physical senses scream that what you desire is impossible. There will be people who doubt you, who try to pull you back into the old patterns of limitation. This is when you must stand strongest in your conviction. This is when you must act with even greater confidence and assurance. Remember, the physical world is the effect, not the cause. What you see around you is the result of past thoughts and beliefs. By changing your thoughts and beliefs now, by acting from a new state of consciousness, you set in motion a new series of causes that must, by cosmic law, produce new effects in your life. So how do you maintain this new state of being, especially when faced with challenges or setbacks? The key lies in your ability to control your inner conversations. The thoughts you think and the words you speak to yourself are the building blocks of your reality. By consciously choosing thoughts and inner dialogues that align with your desires, you reshape your subconscious beliefs and consequently your outer world. When faced with a challenge, instead of engaging in worried or fearful self-talk, consciously choose thoughts of confidence and capability. Instead of saying, "I don't know how I'll overcome this," say to yourself, "I have within me all the resources I need to triumph over any obstacle." Feel the truth of these words. Let them sink deep into your being. Similarly, when an opportunity presents itself, resist the urge to doubt your abilities or worthiness. Instead, affirm to yourself, "I am fully equipped to seize this opportunity and make the most of it. Success is my natural state." This practice of controlling your inner conversations extends beyond just your thoughts. It includes the mental images you hold, the emotions you cultivate, and the assumptions you make about yourself and the world around you. Every aspect of your inner world contributes to the shaping of your outer reality. Imagine yourself as the director of a grand play. The stage is your life, and you have complete control over the script, the casting, and the scenery. Would you choose to direct a tragedy of limitation and struggle? Or would you create an epic tale of triumph, joy, and fulfillment? The choice, my dear friends, is entirely yours. You have the power to write any script you desire. You have the ability to cast yourself in any role you can imagine. The only limit is your willingness to embrace this truth and act from it consistently. Now, I want to address another question that may have arisen in your minds. You may be wondering, but Neville, what about the suffering in the world? What about those who face real hardships and challenges beyond their control? This is a profound question, and it speaks to the very heart of our discussion tonight. You see, even in the face of external circumstances that seem beyond our control, we always have the power to choose our inner state. We always have the ability to act from a place of empowerment rather than victimhood. Consider the great spiritual teachers and leaders throughout history. Many faced persecution, imprisonment, even death. Yet they maintained an inner state of peace, love, and empowerment. They acted not as victims of circumstance, but as divine beings expressing their true nature regardless of external conditions. This is not to minimize the very real challenges and sufferings that many face. Rather, it is to empower you with the understanding that no matter what your external circumstances may be, you always have the power to choose your inner state. And it is from that inner state that you will find the strength, creativity, and resilience to transform your outer world. Moreover, as you learn to act from a place of limitlessness in your own life, you become better equipped to help others. As you lift yourself up, you gain the resources, material, emotional, and spiritual, to lift others up as well. Your expanded consciousness becomes a light that illuminates the path for others. But remember, my dear friends, that true change always begins within. You cannot give to others what you do not possess yourself. You cannot lead others to a place you have not reached. This is why it is so crucial that you learn to act as if your only limit is you. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but become a catalyst for transformation in the world around you. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to give you some practical steps to begin implementing this profound truth in your daily life. For understanding is only the beginning. It is in the consistent application of these principles that true transformation occurs. First, begin each day with a period of quiet contemplation. Before you engage with the outside world, take a few moments to center yourself in the truth of your being. Affirm to yourself, "I am pure, unbounded consciousness. I am one with the creative power of the universe. The only limit in my life is the one I accept in my own mind." Feel the truth of these words. Let them sink deep into your being. Imagine yourself expanding beyond the confines of your physical body, merging with the infinite potential of the universe. From this expanded state, set your intentions for the day. How will you act today as a limitless being? What choices will you make from this empowered state of consciousness? Throughout your day, be vigilant in monitoring your thoughts and reactions. When you catch yourself slipping into old patterns of limitation or self-doubt, gently but firmly redirect your mind. Ask yourself, how would I respond to this situation if I truly believed in my own limitlessness? Then act from that place of empowerment. In your interactions with others, practice seeing beyond their apparent limitations. Recognize the divine spark within each person you encounter. By acknowledging the limitless potential in others, you reinforce your own understanding of your true nature. When faced with challenges or obstacles, resist the urge to react with fear or frustration. Instead, view each challenge as an opportunity to express your divine nature. Ask yourself, how can I use this situation to demonstrate my true power? How can I transform this obstacle into a stepping stone towards my desires? Before you sleep each night, review your day. Celebrate the moments when you successfully acted from a place of limitlessness. For the times when you fell short, do not judge or criticize yourself. Instead, use your imagination to revise those scenes. See yourself responding with confidence, power, and grace. Feel the satisfaction of having acted from your highest self. This practice of mental revision is incredibly powerful, for it impresses upon your subconscious mind new patterns of thought and behavior. Remember, my dear friends, that this is a practice. Like any skill, it requires consistent effort and patience. There may be days when it feels challenging, when the old patterns of limitation seem overwhelming. Do not be discouraged by this. Each moment of awareness, each conscious choice from your true nature is a victory. Celebrate these victories, no matter how small they may seem. As you persist in this practice, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your life. Opportunities may arise that you hadn't noticed before. Relationships may improve as you interact with others from a place of empowerment rather than need. You may find yourself handling challenges with greater ease and grace. These changes may seem small at first, but do not underestimate their significance, for they are the first ripples of a great wave of transformation that is building in your life. As you continue to act as if your only limit is you, these ripples will grow, eventually culminating in a complete reformation of your world. But remember, the goal is not just to achieve your desires, as wonderful as that may be. The true aim is to awaken to your divine nature, to live in constant awareness of your oneness with the creative power of the universe. As you do this, you will find that your desires naturally align with the highest good for all. You will move through life with a sense of ease and flow, knowing that all things are working together for your good. In closing, my dear friends, I want to impress upon you the magnitude of what we have discussed tonight. You stand at the threshold of a new life, a life of limitless possibility and joy. The key to this new life lies not in some external source, but within you. It is your consciousness, your ability to choose your inner state, regardless of outer circumstances, that holds the power to transform your world. Learn to act as if your only limit is you, for this is the absolute truth of your existence. You are pure consciousness, temporarily focused into indivisible expression. You are one with the power that creates worlds. As you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with this truth, you set in motion forces that will reshape your reality in ways you may have never thought possible. Go forth from this place with joy and anticipation. Embrace each day as a new opportunity to express your true nature. Act with the confidence of one who knows their own divine power. Live from the state of your wishes fulfilled, knowing that as you do so, you align yourself with the very forces of creation. Remember, you are not here to live a life of limitation and struggle. You are here to express the fullness of your divine nature, to create, to love, to experience joy in all its forms. By learning to act as if your only limit is you, you fulfill your highest purpose and become a beacon of light for all of humanity. Thank you, my dear friends, for your attention and your willingness to embrace these profound truths. May your journey be filled with wonder, joy, and the thrill of conscious creation. Go now and live as the limitless beings you truly are.